What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Techroad. My name is Michael.
And you're with Simon.
Yeah, and we're back again. And these things that have been happening all over the news.
Interesting stories.
Someone's suing Apple, and TikTok might get banned.
Very true, my friend. Very true.
Let's talk about that.
Speaking of TikTok, are you using TikTok?
As a personal account? No.
Really?
I don't have a personal TikTok account.
So you are one of the boring people.
No, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't. If using TikTok doesn't, if not using TikTok makes me boring,
Yeah.
then I'm boring.
But
But
wow.
if using TikTok is just taken as using TikTok, but I don't use TikTok.
Well, if you want to learn how to dance, what do?
You practice,
My friend, you watch TikToks. You're missing a lot.
but then if you watch TikTok, you don't practice.
Yeah.
Eh?
The thing is, TikToks make you practice on its own. Like the moves, they'll push you to practice. You cannot be seeing 5 videos of same dance and not practice. For some reason, your mind will start learning.
On
Learning
that
by
topic,
doing.
there are two things about that, especially in dancing. There's the way you see yourself in your head,
Exactly.
and the way people see you.
Very true. So TikTok gives that confidence. That's the thing. It gives that confidence. I'm dancing. I can dance these moves.
I'm
right?
dancing like someone I've seen on TikTok.
Yeah, it's interesting. TikTok is a very interesting platform, actually.
Yeah, so TikTok might get banned,
Yes.
and Apple is also seeing issues. So coming to this Apple issue.
Yeah, tell me more about Apple issue.
So the Department of Justice is suing Apple for what they call a monopoly.
Monopoly. It makes sense, my friend.
Yeah. So the whole idea is that they make it very hard for someone who joins the Apple ecosystem.
Yeah.
In maybe buys an iPhone, buys a smartwatch,
Yes.
buys a Mac.
Yeah.
They make it very hard for that person to leave the ecosystem.
Oh, really?
Yes, and they released like an 88-page PDF that talks about how that gives like evidence of this thing.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're not really experts on the law, but
Yeah, it's something we can talk about.
yeah, we'll talk about it from, let's say, from the consumer's perspective.
Yeah, that's a very interesting part. I see one thing. I was trying to relate with these things when they say monopoly or anything in my context, right?
Yeah.
I used the iPhone 2 years. Last year I was using iPhone. Now I moved to Android completely, right? And then one thing which I've noticed there is that yes, Apple can be a monopoly in a way that once you are there is some things that you enjoy, and they're really synced to when you're using Apple products. Like if you're using the AirPods, for example, if you use iPad and then you have iPhone, everything makes sense. Like everything is synced in a way which makes sense, right? But at the same times, what I've seen in most of the Tanzanians, and I'm also talking this in context of Tanzania, we tend to use one device. Maybe it can be Apple, iPhone, right? And that's all, right? So maybe we in context of our context of Tanzania, do we really experience monopoly, Apple monopoly, like per se?
I think we do.
Tell me more.
I think we do. Okay, so look at it like this. You have an iPhone.
Yes.
And you have a Windows PC.
Yeah.
As a person, so most of the people in this generation now would deal with so much content.
Yes.
It's either you're making content or you're watching it.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Whether it's videos, pictures, podcasts, anything. So at any point, if you want to transfer these things through your iPhone to a Windows PC, for someone who is not very tech savvy, that's an issue.
Wow, that's an interesting perspective. Actually, I didn't think of that. But now that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yes. So tell me more about the lawsuit.
That's an issue. So, what they were saying, the examples that they were giving is so there's been this thing going around. They call it like Apple's walled garden.
Okay.
Like picture the Apple ecosystem as a garden.
Yeah.
It has walls around it.
All right.
Right.
Yep.
So the whole idea is to build walls that are so high that you can't get out of.
Interesting.
Yeah. So we start with maybe something basic like iMessage.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Blue bubbles, green bubbles.
Yes, very true. That's a very interesting thing.
Yeah.
And I used to experience that, and I didn't know it's such a big deal until I moved to Android. Until I moved to Android, now I'm realizing that my texts are not blue anymore. Right?
Your texts are not blue anymore.
Why don't they? I'm really curious. Why don't they maybe remove the color altogether?
So the idea was that, like, initially there was SMS, right? That you pay for every single text message.
Yes, very true.
Yes.
Yeah.
But then iMessage came along and said, well, you don't have to pay for all of that. You just do it instantly here, and you can send other media like pictures and videos, and they'll go at a higher quality, and there'll be instant messaging.
Okay.
So basically, it's an alternative to SMS. You see?
Interesting.
So what a person that uses iMessage can send someone else who uses iMessage a video or a picture that stays at very high resolution, very high quality.
Yeah, without any issue.
Yes. Then again, come people who don't use iPhones.
Yes, like me.
And me.
Yes. You're not using iPhone as well?
I don't use an iPhone.
Interesting.
So when someone sends you a picture from an iPhone through iMessage to someone who doesn't use an iPhone, the quality is very different.
First of all, is it possible?
It's a very good question. I don't think it's even called the iMessage.
Yes, because I'm thinking that if I'm having my Android phone and the Apple iPhone user, can you send me a picture via the iMessage?
It's a very good question. That's a very good question. We should really look into that. Yeah. But then, but it's in the text message platform.
Okay.
Like iMessage integrated into text.
Yes.
But if it's from someone who uses iPhone, blue bubbles.
Yes, blue bubbles.
Oh, yes.
So if I send you a message because I'm an Android user and you're iPhone user, and it's come green, right?
Green bubbles.
So you are the one to see this is Android, this is iPhone.
Yes. But then imagine
I don't see
you don't. For you, it's a normal text message.
Okay.
So now imagine in a world where there's a majority of iPhone users, especially in young people. So actually, statistically, they say Apple has the biggest market share in the US.
Okay.
So the market share of Apple is biggest in the US than in any other place.
Okay.
And it's more than 80% of young people use iPhones.
Interesting.
So now think of that young population.
Yeah.
People very much affected by peer pressure.
Very true.
A very small thing like green bubble, blue bubble, can make someone feel very bad about themselves.
Man, that's a very interesting situation. I'm thinking about it this way.
Like they might laugh at you. You don't have an iPhone. It's an actual thing.
Yeah. And the worst part is it's kind of discriminate you without actually discriminate you.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're not ours, if you're not part of us, then your text won't be blue. Right?
It's true.
So
we send blue texts. Our texts come in blue bubbles. Yours are green.
But this life is so hard already.
This life is so hard already.
Why have we made it harder?
I already had to save money.
Yeah?
to buy my cheap Android.
My friend.
And now my texts are also cheap.
Yes, they're cheap. They're cheap. You're cheap.
We can't work like that. See, so that was one of the examples that they gave in the document.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm thinking this way. In terms of if really is an issue, is I think Apple they did it on purpose. It's true. Like really purpose. Like if this is not from our ecosystem, then it should be different color.
It's true.
But I don't think they realize the impact or the implication of that to ecosystem to the whole world.
It's true. These things are a little bit tricky, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like where is the defining line between a monopoly and vertical integration?
Okay.
Where's the defining line?
Interesting.
Like if I make a lens if I make a lens that only works with my camera, that's vertical integration.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Like it's a lens from this company. It only works from a camera with a camera of this company. Vertical integration. But then somehow, if I make a smartwatch that only works with my phone, it's monopoly.
Yeah, I think the other thing is to think in terms of market share.
Yes, that's a very good point.
Because when you think in terms of market share, now you understand that in terms of monopoly, I think it's more than 60, if not 70, or something like that. I don't remember exactly the numbers, right? But if you have more people within your ecosystem that are using a product, let's say within your service, they're using a product, right? And the majority of them prefer a service, right? Compared to other services, then it becomes a monopoly, which on itself is not a bad thing. It's a statement of how much good you are, right?
Yeah.
The only issue is become like the scenario where we have discrimination, that if someone else is not from my ecosystem, then it's looking green, right? I think that's where the issues start to arise, that yes, it's fine, have your ecosystem and everything else, build the best technology and everything else. It's totally fine. But don't use it as a weapon to make, if you're not this, then you're not part of group, right? Because that's where the issue with the blue line, blue text and green text. On itself, I don't think it's an issue that Apple has all this good technology and people are buying it. It's how easily are people included from other ecosystems.
Yeah,
I think that's where the issue is.
But now that is from the consumer's perspective, right?
Yes,
there's more evidence.
Okay.
There are more things that are being talked about.
Tell me more.
Another example is super apps.
Super apps. What about super apps?
So you may, a super app is something like an app that does everything.
Yes.
For example, in China, there's this app called WeChat.
Yes, WeChat.
So with WeChat, you can send messages. You can order products.
Yes.
You can do so much.
Yes.
But then, if you use WeChat, then you just actually need the app and not the device that holds the app.
Yes.
So you can have an Android and still have WeChat.
Yes.
Or any super app.
Yes.
And you can have an iPhone and still have the app.
Yes.
That kind of reduces the whole. It doesn't make the phone special. Like it doesn't make the phone mean anything.
Yes.
If you don't have it. Yeah.
Interesting.
See?
Yes.
Yeah. Same way with paying, like Apple Pay.
Yes.
If Android phones you can use with any wallet.
Yes.
Like you can use NFC, like touch to pay. But then with iPhones, everything has to pass through Apple Pay.
Yes.
For you to get the thing you want. So if you're from a bank, move the money from your bank to Apple Pay.
Yeah.
To buy the thing.
Yeah.
There's a cut Apple cut. You see? There's a cut. So in that way you find you need an iPhone. Apple Pay only works on iPhones.
Yeah.
And if the place only accepts Apple Pay, can't use an Android. Therefore, even if you have money in the wallet,
you cannot use it.
You cannot use it.
Well, that's a problem right there.
That's a problem.
Yes, I see that.
That becomes an issue. Now you need to have the phone.
Yes, you need to have the phone. Yeah. See, now I get your point. I think this is one of the very clear example where there's an issue with the monopoly, that everything is guarded, you have to be in this ecosystem, otherwise you won't get this. So maybe in that context really it's an issue. And what's about the lawsuit you are talking about? So when they present the evidence, they say Apple is a monopoly. What are they result to? What do they want?
What do they want? They want Apple to basically include every other person that they're not including right now.
How are they going to do that?
Bring down the walls.
Yeah.
Like bring down the walls.
Okay.
Like if the smartwatch is the biggest example that most people talk about.
Yeah.
So if you use an Apple Watch, using it with an Android is a problem.
Very interesting.
Like there's many things you can't see, like notifications, viewfinder.
Yeah.
So the many things you can't the integration between the watch and the phone is very limited.
Yes.
Which is very different from if you use like a Pixel watch
and Android
with any Android.
Device.
It works
and it's fine.
You see.
Yeah.
And now smartwatches are like on the rise right now. Very many people using smartwatches.
Yeah. Interesting. You know, there is something which I'm seeing here, and maybe you can help me think about it. Because you see, Amazon, they have this Alexa thing, right?
Yeah.
Talking about assistants, right?
Yeah.
Amazon have Alexa. Alexa has one thing. They have a developer APIs open to anyone. So, for example, Alexa right now can only do maybe switch on the TV or do a specific task, right?
Yeah.
Then you can. What Amazon did, it's the open source. I think the name is Ask or something like that. They call skills, right? So developers can actually add more skills to the Alexa and can do more work, right? But look at the Apple on the other side. They've been having the Siri for almost like 14 years now, since 2010, right?
Yeah.
But what is really interesting that there is no any other external devices that actually really integrate with Siri in a way that you can ask, hey Siri, do me ABCD. Give me the other time you gave me an example of I think it was Rabbit. Was you can do itinerary, you can ask Uber.
Yeah.
So they are not doing that. So maybe what Apple need to think about in terms of this monopoly issue. I haven't gone through in details, but I think the issue is okay. As you said, you have to use the words, but also maybe it's in terms of how open can they be. Apple's been very, very closed, right? Very closed. Everything is closed for them, right? So maybe this is a part where they start thinking. I remember there is this Beeper. I don't know if you heard about Beeper. Beeper is a third-party application where you can integrate all your chats, right? So from iMessage, from WhatsApp, all this, right? And then they can come as one in one application. So in that one application, you don't need to go to WhatsApp, iMessage, what.
Very important.
Yeah. So unfortunately, what Apple did is that they closed their APIs for, I don't know, they did something, I think it's API for their messaging, the iMessage, so you cannot integrate it, right? They started, initially we had access, I think I even had access to my iMessage that time, it was last year, but eventually I think they stopped, they did something and then they are not integrated with the iMessage. I think they started something related with security. So that's one area I think they can approach it, be open.
Yeah. There's this things being talked about, that this thing called RCS.
Yes.
Like it's coming to Apple, where Android users can now use iMessage. Meanwhile, on the other side, there's the TikTok.
Yeah, TikTok.
There's the TikTok issue. The people who like dancing, doing challenges.
Yeah. TikTok. So yeah, I mean that one I followed very, 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 very well, very well. And a few things which I've noticed is that actually a lot of people are thinking about that the Chinese government is behind the TikTok, right? And to some degree, you might say, yeah, Chinese everything is controlled by the state, and it makes sense. Those people are too many to be not controlled by the government, right? Too many actually, right? So having that as something which is popular, many people talk about this is behind, something has Chinese government behind it. People become anxious and conscious, like what's going on. So that's why they even said, hey, why don't we ban this? And the real reason behind it, it's this, like the American people, the government and everything else, they are really worried the influence of China government via TikTok to their children, to their population, everything else. I'm not expert in politics, but I'm very sure, maybe Chinese can say something about it.
It's true.
Yeah, the Chinese government, maybe they say something and then it clearly they are not behind. Oh, they're really behind.
It's true. But then again, like if you look at it, it's not. There's no. I wouldn't say evidence. Because again, we're not experts on the law, so we can't say evidence. But it's not like the Chinese government is directly influencing TikTok.
Yes.
But then what they want what the US Senate wants is for ByteDance, the company that owns TikTok, to sell TikTok to US investors, for the worry that you can't give the Chinese people access to that much American data.
Yes, I hear you, man, and it makes sense in terms of national security. If only China government is really doing this, it makes sense. But if they're not doing it, then there is something we need to think about. Because I think today morning I was reading somewhere and they say Chinese manufactured cars be banned in America, right? If not be banned, would be 100% tariff, something like that, right? And what I noticed is that maybe Americans sometimes they are really afraid of competition.
So it might be a competition issue.
Yes. Like really, this is one of the Chinese app that is really well successful in America. But still, America have right to say, hey, we don't want a Chinese company to operate in America. Similar to what happened to Google or to other American company in China. I heard there is no Facebook there. There's no those kind of things in China. So similar, they have that right to do, hey, we don't want any Chinese influenced company in America, and rightfully they can do that anytime they want to.
Wouldn't that be a very, if that is what they wanted, they would say, like, we are going to ban TikTok and not give the option to sell TikTok.
The thing is, when you sell something, you sell even with IP, right? Once you sell everything, then it's become American company.
Yeah, it now becomes an American company.
Yes.
And actually, the companies that have been seen they want to buy are Microsoft and Walmart also.
Walmart. Yeah, Walmart makes sense. Unajua, kitu ambacho ni kingine cha muhimu kujua ni kwamba TikTok is one of the easiest way kufanya sales.
It's true.
Alright. So if kama mimi hapa ninataka kununua kitu changu right now, nitaenda Instagram, si ndio? Instagram nitaenda kukutana na all this merchant hapa maeneo ya hapa Dar es Salaam, hata mkoani. So Walmart is what? Walmart is all about supermarket, is all about these superstores, ndio?
Watatumia TikTok vizuri sana.
Yes. Yes, and it makes sense kwa sababu wewe kwa mfano Amazon wana ile inaitwa ni affiliated links, ndio? I think hata Walmart wanayo. Na during COVID it was like big thing kwamba una promote product. Right now people make a lot of money kwenye hizi affiliated links, kwamba unaenda kuongelea kwamba labda this mic imenunua China, imenunua from this store na katika price C, quality ABCD, alright? And then this is a link to that. Sasa kuna zile unique items, and this is common, this everyone can get this, but kuna unique item, but the item is very unique or very new, yani labda item ya kumenya vitunguu, for example. That thing is not very popular. Sidhani kama kuna item ya kumenya vitunguu ile kutoa zile pills. So unakuta ipo Walmart, right? And they can use that as a way to create social influencer and get go virals. Yeah,
it's true. Sasa issue nyingine ni swala la influence. Kuna this thing ya the war Israel-Palestina. Yes. So wamekuja kukuta kwamba there's so much, there's a divide. Like now, the young people, exclusively get their news from TikTok.
Very true.
Like that's where they watch the news.
Yeah.
And now, most young people have sided with one of the sides that big powers don't want you to be siding with.
Very true. You're talking something very important, man. I think this is called control the media. Unajua zamani people were using magazeti or radio just to get their news, unajua, which in a really sense ni kwamba magazeti yanakuwa printed before yanakuwa distributed, ndio? So there is that quality check and everything else. So there is a big chance kwamba the government will be able to look at what's said by the media, ndio? So in scenario ya TikTok, just you take your phone right now and say, hey, there is this issue ABCD, right? And the worst part, you can create a lot of false information there.
That's true.
Right? I'm not saying Israel and Palestine there is false information, but I'm saying in normal sense, right? Unaweza create a lot of false information, right? And then this false information you can spread. I remember during time ya COVID, kuna vitu ambavyo ukivisema they make sense. So nobody knows shit about that. Nobody know anything about that. Similarly, kwenye his context, kuna a lot of things that are very new to most of people. They have never sympathized in that level. So you control hivyo, now we just instantly you're viral. Imagine. Ukiweka post yako unapata to almost like 1 million subscribers or viewers.
We kind of want 1 million. Million subscribers.
So of course I'm very sure Americans will be worried about the narration control, which as a free country they should not be.
Ndio hivyo pia kuna two things ambazo you can see kama they're worried about. Ukiachana na external like foreign entities controlling the information. It's also foreign entities controlling how people think. Like if they fine tune the information in some way. Like kwa mfano kuna topics unaweza kukuta haziwi is pushed as much as other topics. Like because the US election is coming up.
Yep, very true. That's what
US election is coming up. So
it's going to be a big one.
They need to control this situation right now. So this act on TikTok is an issue. And if you remember, there was another act on TikTok a few years back, like in 2020.
Yeah, I don't remember that one, but I think that's when I heard about it, but I didn't much pay attention at that time.
Yeah. At the time, I think we weren't paying all that much attention. But now there are millions more users than there were in 2020. And now, after all of these things, now TikTok has reacted. So TikTok has reacted, and they're now saying this is an act on free speech.
Free speech.
Yes.
Wow.
It's an act of free speech.
Wow.
But then the Americans have also reacted and said that their point is not to stop TikTok.
What is it?
Their point is to just change ownership.
Do
you think that's the same thing? Is that the same thing?
That is against the free market. It's against freedom of speech, but is not against the
usipouza. We ban you.
Yes,
usipouza hapa.
Right.
In fact, usipotuzia sisi, huwezi kuendelea hapa.
It makes sense in this aspect. It's against ile free market. Kama everyone can operate the way they want. Competition is free. It's against that. It's against the freedom of speech. But what is not against, whatever Americans are doing right now, is against the autonomy of the country. At the end of the day, as a country, there is all this which are really important. But kichwa muhimu zaidi ni ile autonomy as a country. What's the future for your country are you building? Right? And that's the thing. If they are willing to leave that to other entity to control their freedom and their future,
and their thoughts,
there is a lot of things that can happen at any time.
It's true, especially a foreign power that there is
competition.
Yeah.
China.
Yeah, it's going to be
right.
It's going to be very hard. So these are very developing stories still.
Yeah, very interesting things are coming up.
I think we can follow this up, and hopefully we can get someone who's an expert on the law.
Yeah. Not only the law, I think someone who really understands the geopolitical tension between America and China.
The US and China.
And how much influence China has with the TikTok. One thing also which is really important is look at China, what they are doing for American companies, right? Are they allowing Facebook to operate in their countries? No, yes. Are they allowing Disney? Are they allowing Netflix? Are they allowing American influence in their country? If no,
so there should be some sort of equality.
Yeah,
like if you don't allow us, we won't allow you.
Yes.
This is it's an expansive issue.
Yep.
There's so much we don't know yet. And well, if there's an expert that knows more about this, you're very welcome to contact us, and we can have you here.
Yeah, talk to us more.
Yeah. So I think that's it for today. We'll be back again next week. We are on every platform, right? We are on YouTube, we are on Instagram, and we are even available on audio.
Thank you very much.
Oh yeah, so catch you in the next one.